Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tips Tuesday. I'm Brian Carlson, partner and senior consultant at Fiducian Advisors, and today's tip is on cash balance pension plans, thoughts to consider if you're heading towards a termination. As described in a previous Tips Tuesday, cash balance plans are qualified plans that blend certain elements of both defined benefit and defined contribution features. As these plans have evolved over the years, some of the features have been amended under currently established plans, but at certain stages, it might make more sense to terminate the plan and start fresh. Now, the plans must still satisfy the permanency rule and be established with the intent to be a permanent program. However, if the plan has been established for a number of years and the modifications of the new plan are materially different enough, it should satisfy the qualifications to pass the determination process. But we always encourage clients to discuss this with an ERISA attorney before moving forward. So let's assume we've done the work and determined that the plan is ready to go through a termination. There are some key steps to consider as you move through the termination timeline. From an investment perspective, in the last year of the plan, you'll want to focus on the earnings crediting rate and the investment strategy to align with that rate. If you're using a fixed or variable treasury rate, monitoring that investment performance relative to those rates is paramount when considering how much market risk to bear and when is the most appropriate time to move to cash. In a market rate or actual rate of return design, the distinct return is not determined ahead of time, so continuing to take market risk is more of a philosophical decision and depends on the desire of the plan in attempting to achieve what you believe is a reasonable rate of return. Now, early on in the termination process, you also want to examine your funded status for participants below their earned account balance or those that are below the capital preservation floor. You can then determine the return or contribution necessary to bring them above the floor and or satisfy any shortfall. In the current environment, with money market yields in the neighborhood of 5% with a flat to slightly inverted yield curve, the best approach might be to go to cash as soon as you've determined you're terminating the plan. However, in years where interest rates or markets are more volatile and do not come close to meeting the interest crediting rates established up front, you'll want to make sure your strategy is taking the appropriate amount of risk and determine when to de-risk. That is crucial determination in setting the expectations for any additional contributions or treatment of excess if it builds up upon the termination. Once the planned termination date is achieved, the work is still not done. Many cash balance plans will make their final contribution or pay credit deposit shortly after the termination date. If the plan allows for in-service distributions, typically at 59.5, you'll want to communicate in advance and prepare for the number of participants that will immediately roll their money out of the plan. But for any participant left in the plan after termination, there is a mandated earnings credit that they will receive up until their distribution. In many instances, plan sponsors wait for the determination letter, but that can take up to a year or even more. So this could provide for your participants having balances in the plan for a material amount of time up until distribution. So you'll want to work closely with your actuary and investment advisors to review the post-termination earnings credit. And from an investment strategy, make sure you have alignment so that you can attempt to produce similar results. Now, going through the plan termination requires a lot of administrative steps. It is crucial to have good communication up front and throughout the process to ensure your investment strategy is considered and aligns with the plan features as you move toward termination. If you'd like to learn more and check out our additional insights, please visit fiducianadvisors.com. And thanks again for checking out our Tips Tuesday.